Genre of music do you sing?
Okay.
Could you tell me again what that song was that you just sang right for us?
Cascade.
Cascade Love.
Yeah, love.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aloha Big Island, and thank you so much for tuning in. You are listening to 101.1 FM The Dream. I have Dagan Bernstein in the studio with me today, and he's just chilling and we're talking stories, and he just played a really cool song, and it was called Cascade Love.
Yeah, Cascade Love.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Oh,
thank you so much for sharing it with us.
My pleasure.
Let's see, so we're gonna go to some more questions.
Shoot.
So the next question is, what genre of music do you sing?
Well, I call it Paniolo music.
Oh, okay.
Or Paniolo folk.
Okay.
For lack of a better word. I mean, I definitely love traditional country and folk music, so I'm kind of in between there, but I always want to, honor, being from Waimea and just the Paniolo culture of Waimea is like a big part of influencing my music.
Are you a cowboy?
I'm not a cowboy. I'm not going to try and fake it like I'm a cowboy, but
you're not a cowboy.
No, not a cowboy.
But you sing Paniolo music.
Yeah,
so do you go and sing like when they have like the rodeo shows and stuff?
From time to time when they are interested in what I'm doing, There's lots of other wonderful Hawaiian and real Paniolo musicians, definitely in Waimea, that do a great job, perpetuating the real cowboy,
It's so beautiful in Waimea too, and then like you just get that cowboy feel. It's so country.
Right. That's what I mean. I consider what I do Paniolo music just because that's what influences me.
Did you get raised up in Waimea? Or was it somewhere else?
Originally, I grew up in South Kona, actually, originally, in Honaunau.
In Honaunau.
Yeah, originally I grew up down there. Okay. And then when I was in middle school, my family moved up to Waimea.
Okay, but you're a Big Island boy.
But yeah, Big Island.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I was born in the East Coast. I was 5 years old.
Okay.
When I moved here.
Okay.
I have an older brother, 2 younger sisters, and my mom and dad sold the house, quit the job, flew out here, and we lived on a beach.
Oh wow!
Like total old. This is like in the early '80s, old school style.
Yeah, that was totally okay.
Yeah, so we lived on the beach for a few months, and then
figured it
out, and then they found it was just some little coffee shack on an avocado farm down south.
Nice.
And that's where I grew up. No TV, water catchment, outhouse, the whole,
What a blessing.
It was really a blessing. It really was. It was ideal.
This island, I just feel like it has, and we were talking earlier, there's so many musicians here. Right. And then I also talk to people that come to visit, and then they get musically inspired, especially here. So do you feel like something about this island might be inspiring all these people?
This is the creation of new land. I mean, definitely.
That's so true. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, this is the creative space. I mean, I don't know if you can't be creative here. I mean, it's just you just walk out your front door and it's like the mountains and the sky, the beach, the water, it's just I think it's a very
It's like the wind blowing, the rain making its rain sounds outside.
The smells, the flowers, everything.
It's just so peaceful.
Yeah, if you can connect with that, I think it's very powerfully inspiring if you're an artist.
It's part whatever you want to call it, spirit, world, or earth. Right. World or whatever. I think it speaks loud and clear here.
Definitely. And then people who grew up here have those memories. You always say baby kid time, Hanabata days. You just know there's those because it was, you know, life is so much different when you're a kid, and to grow up in such an amazing place, and the people and the land.
Yes.
That's what makes, you know, Hawaii. It's the amazing people and the land. And for people, if you know, I was lucky enough to grow up here. It's like there's all those inputs in my head, all those memories and experiences and a way of life that just I didn't really understand, because I didn't leave here till I went to college when I was 18, and that was the first time going to the mainland.
Right.
And I was very like, oh, I'm going to the mainland, get off this rock.
You were excited about it.
Go, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I remember that first winter being over there, just like, oh my God, this is this is very different. I don't know. And you know, my family was supportive. Just, hey, do what you got to do, but I think it would be good for you to just try and get through it. And you know, I was going to college, and you know, yada yada yada. But right when I was done with college, and you know, for a little while after living over there, I was like, the pull of home was just too strong.
Yes.
Just there was just the little things, the way people say hello and look you in the eye, and aloha really is what it is. It's just, not that there isn't people with aloha on the mainland, but here it's a different level.
It is.
It's a different level. So you know,
caring for others and just having common courtesy and because
we're on an island, you know, we gotta. That just changes how
everybody
you think.
Everybody knows each other, so it's like, oh, okay, well, if I do this, then somebody's gonna find out,
right?
One way or another.
Right. So. You can't just pick up your bags and you know, get on a Greyhound, and which was also something I did like about the mainland is you could like I liked traveling and getting around, and I could like get on a Greyhound bus and go to San Francisco and see music and go to live concerts, and that was hugely important, but that only got me so far. There was a point where I was like, okay, I'm out of here.
It's a good place to be rooted. So okay, let's the next question is, what type of music did you first start to listen to, and do you listen to the same type of music now?
Well, like when I was really, really young, you know, being in this musical household, my dad, he had a record player, he had a big stack of records, and he's really into like old jazz and blues. Okay. So that was always playing in the house, like the old school stuff from like the 40s.
Oh, nice.
So a lot of Charlie Parker, John Coltrane, Miles Davis, and Robert Johnson, and all that old stuff. But then when I was like a teenager, I went fully into, you know, this is the early 90s, so Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Red Hot Chili Peppers, all that was like my jam. All that, you know, teenage angsty kind of like, loud guitars. So,
alternative-ish.
All that stuff. So I mean, no, I don't play that. I mean, there's one Pearl Jam song I really love that I will play. From time to time.
Oh, you want to play with it for us today? Or?
I could. I'd have to pull up the lyrics. I don't have it like memorized. I don't have it like. No, it's not like one I regularly do. But yeah, no, I've kind of. I still listen to that music. I listen to because now I listen to everything. I love every kind of music and under the sun. So I still listen to it. But in terms of like what I'm inspired to make. It's definitely, I mean, traditional country, like Hawaiian music, a lot of the 70s Hawaiian songwriter stuff, Olomana, Country Comfort, C&K, and all that kind of stuff is really what I do when I play out live.
Nice.
So, yes, but no, in terms of...
It's really mellow.
Yeah, I think
compared to your Nirvana.
Right.
So like I think we all go through that phase in our teenage times, because people that know me know how it was for me.
Right. Well, that's natural. Yeah. I think. Yeah. I mean, you're that age. You trying to find your identity and. Oh, totally. I mean, I remember. I remember when I came back. I was in college when I first came back. I had this like yearning for Hawaiian music, and I bought. There used to be this little CD store in Waimea. Shout out to Birds Audio. No longer there, but if you lived in Waimea, you know Birds Audio.
Okay.
And they used to sell. He had the awesome CD and music collection, and he would order you anything. Like he would get you order you anything.
Okay.
And I went in there and I just bought like 15, like all the Gabby Pahinui CDs, Sonny Chillingworth, all the Sons of Hawaii, Hui Ohana. And when I came back to Oregon, I just like absorbed all of those sounds. I was just completely like.
Especially, I think maybe your experience going to the mainland, it was maybe something that helped you calm down from your, like, because it's a little bit radical.
Yeah.
There. I mean, it's a lot more fast paced. So maybe it helped to kind of like slow the pace down a little bit.
Right.
And
yeah, I mean, I was in a town, Eugene, which, I mean, was big, 150 something thousand people, but still pretty mellow. Like, Oregon's a pretty mellow place. It's beautiful. There's rivers and mountains. It's really beautiful physical landscape. But I definitely mellowed out. I think when I just got out of like feeling, being in a small town and a small school and on the Big Island and just getting out, I kind of, I don't know, just mellowed out. I got into more like acoustic music in general is what I put down. I remember I didn't bring my electric guitar with me.
Oh, you had any
I was all into electric guitar,
wow.
Nirvana, and
Okay,
I brought it out, and then I played it for a little while. Then I sent it back here, and I bought an acoustic guitar and was like,
you were
I'm
more
all
attached to
the acoustic
your
style,
yeah.
the more rootsy.
It's so mellow,
Yeah.
And there's so many different things you can do with an acoustic guitar too. It's like you can, like how you said, it's rootsy, so you can have your roots reggae, you can have your country, your paniolo, your Hawaiian on there.
Yeah, I mean, I was into all of that. I mean, even Bob Marley and Jamaican music and Bob Dylan and just acoustic blues music and then, well, the country was really with Johnny Cash.
Oh, okay.
That's where that came about. There was a bunch of albums he did with Rick Rubin, who was a famous producer, who produced the Beastie Boys, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Run DMC, and a whole bunch of people. A great producer, and he did a series of albums with Johnny Cash.
Okay.
When Johnny Cash was like kind of down and out, no one knew about him, old, had kind of wasn't a popular touring artist anymore. And Rick Rubin found him and was like, we're going to do these albums, but I want to do it just you, your acoustic guitar, and I want you to do all these. He did a bunch of contemporary songs, but like reworked them. So he has a famous song called Hurt. That's originally a Nine Inch Nails song. Oh, wow. But they totally flipped it.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And that was the song. I heard that song and was like, this is Johnny Cash? Like, wow. And I started diving deeper into his songbook and was really inspired. And that kind of opened up a lot of, other traditional country artists. And it kind of, I started going down the country music rabbit hole.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go over to the next question. Can you remember when you first? I asked this question already. Well, we're kind of. Is Johnny Cash your favorite musician, or do you have a favorite musician, or the most person who inspires you, or
probably? I think.
Johnny Cash.
Really, to me. Johnny Cash is, and let me. This is why, because I think he's really hard to define by genre.
Okay.
People will say he's country, but and I play a lot of Johnny Cash songs live, and you get so many different types of people that love his songs.
Right.
And there's just something. I think there's something uniquely special about that. Songwriters that can cut across all different genres, because I don't like I don't like saying I'm a country artist because I don't really consider myself a pure country singer.
Yeah, I kind of was trying to figure out what it was. I was like, is this country? I asked my advisor.
Right.
So we have folders that we put our music into.
Right.
So, and then we were like, oh, yeah, country. But then,
you
know, like it was...
country, and then it's not really like folk.
Yeah, no.
But it's, so I don't, and it's not Hawaiian. I mean, it's not like, I don't sing in Hawaiian,
so it's very unique.
Right, and for me, that's like, when I listen to Johnny Cash, I think he
has a uniqueness.
He has a unique kind of style that, I mean, yeah, he's probably more country than anything else, but, I mean, he did a lot of things, that were pretty radical in terms of, I mean, yeah, if you read about his life, like he was ostracized from the country community for some of the things he did, and he didn't like being, you know, put in that box, and you know, there's another artist I really like right now named Charlie Crockett.
Oh, okay.
And he is another artist who, he always says he's too country for the blues artists and too bluesy for the country artists. And that was, and I love how he, you know, I've read interviews with him or seen interviews with him, and he really doesn't, he works outside of those genres and those labels. So it's, I look for those artists. I love those artists that are really kind of their own thing.
Feel. Yeah.
So
I think that's important. Yeah.
So that's why, you know, that's why I would say Johnny Cash, like, and plus we were talking about songwriting. I mean, he's got some pretty stories. You listen to his songs, he's got some stories.
Got some good stories.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so let's see. Has there ever been a special song or a special someone that you wrote a song for?
Yeah, definitely. On my last EP I did, there's a song on there called Always Down for Love. And I wrote that for my now wife.
Okay.
And at the time we were, you know, we were just cohabitating, whatever you want to say. And can I tell the story behind the song?
Yes,
or should I,
totally,
okay,
tell
all right.
it, yes.
Sure if we're like, so the song I wrote, she was getting her yoga training certification down in Kona when we were living up in Waimea. And it was like a 5-day thing. Like you slept at the yoga center. It was like a full-on, you know, and 5 days, and then the weekend she would come up back to Waimea. And I remember when she went back down for her yoga thing on Sunday night, she called me when she got down there and was like, honey, and it was like that. I was like, oh, okay, so she needs something.
Oh, okay.
The tone of like, honey, I'm like, okay, what is it? She's like, I forgot my headphones.
Uh-oh.
I was like, okay, and I remember thinking to myself how automatic it was, like, oh, okay, like, I'll go drive, you need your headphones, I'll drive down into Kona and deliver the headphones. Like, it was so second nature, and that was really where I realized, like, how I had some real special feelings for this person.
Right,
because,
right.
you know, we tend to be kind of self-absorbed
Yes.
sometimes, and
Most
you
of
know,
the time.
especially in relationships, it's hard. But this was the first time it was like so automatic, and that I kind of just, I think someone else
like,
had the idea.
I must be in love because I'm doing really stupid things.
Right, totally, right. Yeah, and that's where I came up with I'm always down.
Time out of my. I'm doing something for someone else.
I know, what a crazy idea, right? But so I kind of just built this song about that, like being always down for love, and the hook is I might live up country, but I'm always down for love.
Oh, cute.
So it was kind of like I'm up country, but I drove down, you know, down for love, playing on that down for love, driving down. You see?
Yeah, totally see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the song. And the song is just a shout out to my friend Colin John, who does the electric guitar solo on there. He's a musician from Ohio.
What's up, Sean?
Colin John.
Colin John.
Colin John. Yeah, Colin John. That's funny because people always get his name messed up. Sean, what's up, Sean? But no, he's a musician. He's actually on island right now too. So
right on.
He's a good friend of mine. So we always play music together.
Okay, cool.
So he does the electric guitar on there.
Nice.
So shout out to him.
Okay, that sounds like fun. All right, so I'm going to try to play that for everyone right now.
Yeah.
Okay, just give me a little bit of time to
no worries,
get it
sync the
in there.
network.
Okay.
All right. Let's do it.
Okay.
How's it going, guys? We're just talking story over here.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Right on.
Yeah. You have a lot to say. That's so good.
Okay, I had a cup of coffee before I came over.
Oh,
so.
no, that's perfect. I like people that talk.
Right.
That's what it's for.
Yeah.
So, yeah, how do you feel about it?
I love talking music.
Okay.
And
yeah, I know, me too.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm like, I have to hold myself back because I'm like, oh, okay, like I could bring this up and that up. And I'm like, wait, like, you know, because the time can fly in here. And some people are like, 2 hours, that's long. And I'm like, you have no idea. It goes by like 5 minutes.
Exactly.
So, I mean, look, it's almost 5 o'clock already.
Right? I know, right? Yeah. Well, that's what happens when the conversation's good.
Yeah. Okay, so, and then next question is going to be, have you had the chance to collaborate with other musicians? And you just talked about your friend, not Sean, but Colin.
Colin John.
Colin John. And then, and then, can you tell us a little bit about your family history?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. And then, do you feel that as a musician you play a leadership role in the Hawaii community? And then, so that's a big one. Like, I really like to ask. I ask most musicians that come in because I think it gives time for the musicians to think about what they're doing too, and and sometimes it inspires them. Right. You know. Yeah. So that one, and then how do you feel your music impacts those around you? And then it looks like we're gonna play. Oh, and then we're gonna do what instruments do you play? And then we're gonna do All I Have to Do. We're gonna play that one. And it looks like I'm just gonna have to plug it in manually just because but that's fine. Right. So yeah. Sounds good. And then we can go on right after this one if you're all right with that. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Whatever's good.
So we have 35 seconds, and then we'll go back on.
Shoops.
You don't want to go get any water or anything?
I'm okay.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe next time around, because I think you're going to sing a song afterwards. Okay. Yeah. It's hard to sing with the dry throat.
Yeah. I think it's being inside too. It's like hair's a little dry. Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna try. You know what? Oh, never mind.
Oh. We're live.
We are live.
Back in effect.
Back in effect.
101.1 FM.
The dream.
University of Hawaii Hilo. My wife always teased me that I should be a radio.
You sound really good.
So I gotta practice.
Yeah. Come become a student, and then
there you go, re-enroll, and then I can.
Hey. Totally.
All right.
You have a great radio voice.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Right on. Good. We just listened to Always Down.
Yeah.
And that was a song that you wrote, and it was about your falling in love.
Yeah.
With your
my now wife.
Wife.
Always being down for love.
Yes.
Going to any lengths necessary.
Yeah, it's interesting because really, if you're when you love someone, you really do.
Yeah.
And it's interesting what love does to us.
I know it is.
So I'm gonna go ahead and ask you the next question, and it's: have you had the chance to collaborate with other musicians? And we just kind of talked about how you worked with Colin John.
Right.
And he was on the electric guitar.
Yep.
And he's here visiting.
Yep.
And so can you tell us a little bit about any other musicians that you might have had the chance to
work with? Yeah, I love playing with other musicians. I play acoustic guitar and sing, and it's always nice to have some sort of melody instrument joining me. There's a couple fiddle players that I play with pretty regularly. A guy, Jeff Quinn out of Honoka'a, who plays with a lot of people out on that side. He's kind of one of those guys that plays with a whole bunch of people.
What does he play? The fiddle?
He plays,
Okay.
plays fiddle.
Cool.
Kind of country fiddle. Another guy, Marcus, who also plays fiddle.
Okay.
Out in Waimea. There's an ukulele player named Brad Bordessa, who's a fabulous ukulele player,
Nice.
and so he also does his own original music. But I play with him. He sits in with me and does a lot of the ukulele, panis and all the leads and whatnot. And those are kind of some of the main. My friend Tom, he plays some lap slide guitar.
Oh, okay, cool.
And he sits in with me a lot of times at the brew house in Waimea. He's the owner of that place, so
wow.
he'll sit in and jam with me on the slide guitar.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah. So
it's always fun to work with other people.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
It gets boring sitting and playing by yourself.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Totally.
Like, oh.
Yeah. Like we were just talking about the time flying when you're, talking story. It's the same like when I play music with someone. It's like time just flies. You're having fun. It like I feel it activates another part of my brain.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you're playing and you'll drift off or kind of like lose focus, but when you're playing with someone, you're always thinking like, okay, give them that section. Oh, I'm on the right chord, and where's the intro? What's the ending? And it's like you really got to keep thinking about what you're doing because you're like, I feel like you're like with this
bouncing
person,
off the other person's
and you got to pay
vibration.
attention.
Yeah,
exactly, to keep it going. And
so you guys kind of just get together and do it like a free flow kind of thing,
right?
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I love. That's kind of like when I learned a lot in like the kanikapila style. Just play, just kind of, just go for it. I mean, rehearsing is important and it has its place in certain environments, but I also, I remember when I first started playing like live and on stage with a lot of like Hawaiian musicians playing ukulele, it was like, you just had to figure it out. And if you didn't cut it, it was just, okay, next, like you know.
And I'm playing music kind of like with the free flow and no rehearsal. It has its own magic. It's like something that nobody has ever seen before. So it's really something special.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely. And, I play, like, and that's what I love about kind of traditional folk forms of music, traditional music. It's like there's a repertoire and there's if you know the songs, there's a certain framework. You're all working within, and then within that you can have the freedom to extend parts or throw it in a different key or kind of extend, whatever, repeat certain parts. I love playing with musicians who can do music at that
and then
way.
There's that fun thing where each, like, you give one person their solo and then the other person does a cool little thing, and then so everybody has their own little...
It was maybe last month or something I was playing, and I had all those guys together. It was like Brad, Jeff, Tom, and they were all, and so I'm like, okay, ukulele, boom, all right, steel guitar, and then violin. It's like you just keep, and the songs so kind of turn into like a fun 6-minute jam.
That is so
rather than sometimes it's like verse chorus, chorus, boom boom, tag done.
It's like
But and also playing by myself has made me like, I feel like I've gotten a lot better at guitar the last like 2-3 years as I've really played live a lot more. I've had to fill in all those. When I first started.
So you have to like play bass on the guitar.
Get the thumb finger going, that whole slack key kind of technique, the walking bass line, because you hear all that stuff in your head and you're like, oh, if I don't do it, it's not there. But no, I love collaboration and sharing music is a beautiful thing.
Right on. I gotta come out and see you guys sometime. Let me know. You gotta keep me posted.
Yeah, I don't play too much out Hilo side, but definitely Kohala.
I'll drive out.
Waimea, Kohala.
Especially if it's not too late.
Right, I know. No, I do. That's why I love playing like coffee shops and farmers markets, because I love like the daytime gig. Those are my favorites.
Good.
Yeah, those are my favorites.
Let me know then.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. If you don't mind, I'm going to go over to the next question.
Yeah.
And it's, can you tell us a little bit about your family history and how that may have an impact or impacted you as an individual, or even your music, or as a musician?
Right. Yeah, I mean, I talked a little bit about, my mom and dad are both native New Yorkers.
Okay.
They're both born and raised New York City. Yeah, my
That's
dad's
amazing.
from Brooklyn. My mom's from the Bronx. Still
Uh-huh.
talks like this a little bit. And even though they've been here 35 years, my mom still has a little accent there.
Okay.
But they met in New York City, and after they got married, they moved to the Virgin Islands in the Caribbean.
Wow.
And I think the way they tell it, that's where they kind of got that, island vibe.
Oh,
This was the 60s,
okay.
hippie kind of, travel to they were like selling
Right.
T-shirts, in the Virgin Islands. My
Uh-huh.
dad was a professor at the school over there, but they were
okay.
kind of living, that kind of, life back then. And so they moved back to the East Coast and had, raised a family, had kids, but they, they had been wanting to get back to that kind of lifestyle. And my mom came out and visited the Big Island. This is like in 83, 84, something back then, and instantly fell in love with it. And was like, we're moving to the Big Island.
Wow.
That's what's happening.
She
And
just
she wears the pants. My mom's Sicilian.
One visit,
she's
huh?
my mom's definitely the doer. So my dad
so
was like,
cool.
okay. And
Yeah.
like I said, they, sharing earlier, they, quit their job, sold the house. My sisters I have two younger sisters. They're twins. They were just born. They were barely even, maybe a year old, or, a little over a year old or whatever. And we picked up and moved out here to the Big Island. And I mean, definitely, hands down, that had the number one impact on my life.
Right,
without a
right.
doubt. I mean, I would be a different person. And
Yes.
the fact that they, they moved to like the boonies down in South Kona, and just having that just kind of upbringing, just that old school way of where you just run out the door and play.
No more slippers.
Yeah, no slip. I was definitely that kind of kid. And like my mom would drop me off down at the beach, and just you would just hang out. I mean, not like she wouldn't just like drop me off and leave me, but not.
She's
don't.
like,
I'm gonna get in trouble now. Contacting. No. Like she would go down to the beach,
yeah.
and she would swim and hang out, but let me run around with the other kids and hang out, and come over here, boy. Like you hungry, and like families, that whole kind of
like poo-poo, get some sashimi and some
that whole thing, and that was all. Napopo Beach, KA Beach down there, whole kind of those spots down there were like, it was just such an amazing time, an amazing place, and amazing people, and that really.
When had plenty of opihi.
Yeah, right. The big ones, not the little ones. So and that kind of, and a lot of things. The music, my parents, they never, like when I wanted to play guitar, they got me a guitar. If I wanted guitar lessons, they like. Let me do guitar in school, and like wouldn't, tell me like, oh, you can't play guitar,
Right.
They just always. My mom's an artist. She paints and creates. She was a school teacher for like 25 years, but she was always. Our house always had like paint and crafts, and she was always making stuff and gluing glitter and paper and that kind of thing. So she always encouraged all of us to be creative and artistic, and I think that just, making music, creating art was always supported in my environment. So that really had a big impact on,
on how you became your musical self.
Definitely, because I think it's important. And now that I'm in the capacity at working as a teacher myself, I enjoy being able to support the musical interests of students that I have, and giving them some of the opportunities I have.
What kind of teacher are you?
I teach 8th grade.
8th grade.
In Waimea, and I teach music, math,
Okay.
and also like a project. We do this project course in school there. So.
What a blessing.
Yeah.
You live in Waimea.
Yeah.
You're a teacher.
Yeah.
You get to work with the kids.
And then play music. Yeah.
You play music.
It really is. Every day I wake up
so
and just,
solid.
I feel
Yes.
blessed. I'm very
Yes.
grateful, and I love that combination of lifestyle. It really, the teaching kind of keeps me grounded, keeps me like humble, and kind of just keeps me in reality. And then the music allows me to kind of be creative and do all that stuff, and then but also record when I can and all that kind of stuff. And I get to play music for the love, and because it's hard when you start talking about the money and supporting your life and the paying the bills. That can
don't
be
get
tricky.
Music and money mixed up.
So real musicians have a day job. I remember seeing that bumper sticker. I was like, okay. Which is, hey, there's a lot of people though.
Trouble.
No, that's not true.
Just
Actually,
kidding.
no. There's a lot of musicians.
I have excuses.
Yeah. No. Then there's a lot of musicians who make a living, and God bless them, and that's very beautiful.
Yeah,
and it's
there
actually,
is a lot of musicians.
Yeah, and
that's their job.
And we can, in Hawaii, there's an industry around that, and I think that's very unique.
Right.
That there's people. I mean, I could name you all kinds of people on the Big Island that are put their kids through school, pay their mortgage, feed their kids all through music, and that is beautiful in its own way. Everyone, you gotta find your own path.
Work.
It's real guaranteed.
So I mean,
guaranteed.
A musician, man, like it is work. It's like, mostly writing music. It's like one thing, and then it just starts as one thing, and then you have to.
That's
do so many other things just for one song.
That's kind of the romantic side of it, because the real part is like the guy loading all his equipment onto the cart, pushing it through the parking lot in the hot sun to get on the service elevator, to get out, to find, I know that whole routine.
Okay, yes.
So it's real. And
I'm on the second floor, so.
Right. Do you mean literally or metaphorically?
I am on the second floor at my apartment.
Oh, okay.
So,
you gotta haul it up.
The speaker, the microphone stand, everything. So I have a huge bag with all my wires in it, and the guitar,
the guitars, PA, the mixer, all. You gotta set it up, and
the stand, the music stand.
It's a crazy
guitar stand, because you have to have a place. You don't want to put it on the floor.
Right.
So
the skills you need, it's like you gotta know how to work all the equipment, make the music, promote, have a website. Like it's like this crazy combination of skills you need to be an independent, self-sufficient musician. It's not just. I wish it was just you play the guitar and sing and write a nice song and everything's hunky dory. It's like
there's a lot more.
There's a grind.
So,
God bless all those people who are grinding out there. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But they do it because they love it, and it's like it's something that they love to do. Without that, they wouldn't do the grind thing. So.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, okay. So this is something that I ask almost every musician that comes in here, but I feel like it's an important question.
Right.
So this one is, do you feel that as a musician you play a leadership role in the Hawaii community, being that there are people listening to your messages through your music, and if so, can you tell us if you feel it's important to carry certain values with you as a musician and an individual? It's a long question.
That is. There's a lot of pieces to that. Wow, I can attack that from a few different angles.
Yeah.
The first part of that is do I consider myself a leader in the Hawaii musical community? I mean, that's such a hard question to ask.
Well, you are. I mean, because you are also a teacher. So the children that you teach,
Right.
they know that you're a musician,
Yeah.
and
Right.
you're teaching children, so you're already a leader.
Yeah.
Outside of your musician
Right.
self, but then you're a musician at the same time,
Right.
so you have to.
Right. I guess I didn't really think of it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if I do inspire and influence people, like, that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like. I'm not really conscious, or I don't set out to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I will say the one thing I really value
Mm-hmm.
as a musician is in being a creator of original music that honors this place and the people and the life of Hawaii. I mean, that's really, I try and keep that at the forefront of my thoughts every time I play.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many wonderful musicians who have given me the opportunity to play these songs that I kind of lost my train of thought there, but
Well, you were talking about feeling honored,
right.
and so it's you're kind of saying that it's an honor to have the position as a musician, and and you're honored to be able to play the songs that you're playing by people that you're inspired by.
Or even my original songs that are inspired by those people. So you're asking, is it important to have like values and integrity? Like, yeah. Like, I think, like, when I make sure I show up on time for my gigs, I play for the amount of time they need me to, or more. I put everything in. When I do, this is, just performing live, I make sure I mahalo them, and I think those things are really important, because I think a lot of times musicians can get a bad rap, and I think it is important to act with integrity, and I think it's important on the Big Island, as a lot of independent musicians and original songwriters are coming kind of up, that they get that mutual respect from places that are able to host music. And because Big Island's growing, and I would like to see in the future that there'll be more opportunities for musicians who do original music to do it here, and not have to go like, oh, I gotta go to Honolulu, or oh, I gotta move to New York or Nashville or LA. Like, there is something to be said about keeping the music community alive here, and so I have so much respect for the ones that are like from here and doing it here and keeping it going, because it is hard, because we are small, but on the other hand, we're also growing, and
oh so talented,
and the talent's there, and so like I'm trying my best in my own little way to, like, do what I can to
mahalo, respect,
mahalo, respect, and to put my best foot forward.
Yes,
and that's important. Like,
yeah.
kind of like, it's beautiful and fun, but also like take it seriously, and like do your best, and don't like, don't half just keep it real.
Yeah.
Play from your heart. And mahalo for what you do. And that's the things that I always heard when I was kind of coming up and was in the music world. It was all about, like, play from your heart, be real, and do what you love, and be you.
These are good takeaways.
Yeah, I think it's important.
Yeah,
I think it's important because I speak from experience, and I struggled with that, and I still do. I think any artist does, because it's like, it's hard to say, like, this is who I am and this is what I do, and it's hard to
you're putting yourself out there. Yeah.
So I think we naturally want to go, oh, if I was like this or I was like this, people will like it. But at the end of the day, it's your music, it's your thing, and it's like, do you.
Yeah.
And if people like it, wonderful. And if people don't, like, that's okay. There's a lot of other music out there, and just because there's so many shades and different styles and grooves, and you can hear there's so much different music for people, and they don't like what you're doing. I don't think
There's
it's
so many people though. There's always gonna be someone who connects.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's like focus on them rather than, you know, the 20 people who are like not listening and ignoring you, and then like, and then sometimes one person will come up and be like, "Oh, that was so you played that one
but
song.
you know what? I don't
Thank
think
you."
that people are really ignoring you. I think that like it's just like some people have more. It's just different. Like they're just doing their own thing,
Right.
like talking stories or whatever, and they're like, oh, that's
Yeah.
the music in the background.
Yeah.
But it's definitely nice when someone comes up and says mahalo,
Right.
thank you, I
Right.
appreciate,
Right.
and you know like has any nice comments, because
Right.
it's sometimes like it's it really is intimidating to be up there sometimes, and then
No.
you're not sure what people are thinking. So
Right.
getting feedback is always like, oh, so nice, and
It's always
like,
nice.
yeah,
Always nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, like because sometimes you can walk away and if nobody says anything, you're like, I failed.
Yeah. Right. What was that happened? And that's natural. And you know, I think it's important never to beat yourself up and don't.
But it's never about like going up there and impressing anyone. It's really
Right.
about a personal growth kind of thing.
Right.
So,
Definitely. If you're up there and you're trying to like impress,
yeah.
you might want to find something else to do, because this isn't.
It's really personal growth, and
Right.
every time that you do what you do,
Yep.
you're growing personally.
Yep.
And yeah.
Yep. Totally.
So okay, so let's see. How do you feel your music? Oh, we're kind of already talking about this. How do you feel your music impacts others around you that listen to?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, like when you go and you play at a gig and
Right.
and you're at the coffee house
Right,
or
right.
whatever, and
Right. I think people appreciate that, like I play from my heart.
Mhm.
I hope that comes through. I mean, definitely,
Yeah.
I love to like play, and
Mhm.
I hope there's like, a passion. They see my passion and my love, and again, I try and be as real as possible. So I hope that comes across to the audience.
I really like your uniqueness.
Yeah, I mean, I love a lot of different styles, and I think, being unique is something I search out
Right.
for that in other musicians. So I think if I can come across that way, then that's awesome, because I never was kind of cut from one mold, I guess.
Right. And I think that in itself already impacts people. Like, even if they say it or don't, it's like, oh, this person is very unique. Like, they just think
Right.
it. They just think it.
Right.
And sometimes a lot of people are actually intimidated to talk to someone that's performing, because they're like, I don't know if they're friendly or not. And, so it's both ways.
Right.
So, sometimes it's just not said because they feel like, oh, too scared to say anything, so they just think it.
Yeah.
But it's good because
Right.
you're making people think, oh, like, I have a unique style, and
Right.
you're playing, and it's so
Yeah.
mellow.
Yeah.
And so so they're like, this is unique.
Yeah.
It's really mellow.
Right.
And you're just setting the mood.
Can I write that down?
Yeah.
Can you be my promoter? Unique, mellow, setting the mood. No, actually, setting the mood is a big one. Like, people who've seen me play live, like, I have this big carpet I set out. Like, I bring my own chair. Like, I'm all about, like, making my zone.
Yes.
I'm about to sit down. I want to, like, play some music, and, like...
You know what I think is really important?
It's all about...
The lighting.
That's...
The lighting.
Definitely.
So, that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
It can, like, get you out of character or put you right into it.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, when you see a stage that has real lights, you're like, oh, wow.
Yes.
Like, I'm so used to playing, like, in the corner of some, like, bar or restaurant where you're, like, in the dark, like a gremlin. And
Try
then
not to take up too much room.
Right, and you go to a real stage with real lights, you're like, oh, wow. And then you, like, someone took a video and you see it, you're like, wow, I look like legit.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like
yeah.
the real lighting. Yeah, no, definitely
Yeah.
can make a big difference.
Yeah.
It's something I have no ability at doing. I don't have an eye for that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, you have the musical ear.
Right.
So that's all you
Right.
need.
So, any lighting people out there want to, like, test it out. Better be careful. Someone will show up with, like, 20 lights. Like, okay, we're going to do this whole thing. It's going to be purple. And then, that's all good.
I love the color purple.
Purple's beautiful.
And pink. So, yeah. Put a splash of blue. And
Right. Yeah, maybe that could change my whole vibe. The pink paniolo. The purple paniolo.
Well, we have some green lights going on right now in the studio.
Yeah, we got something going in here.
And they're really cool. So, and we can change the colors in here. So he actually suggested the green. So it looks really nice.
Yeah.
This color would do good with your paniolo sound.
Well, yeah, you're asking what color, and I was just like, I guess green. I don't know, the green hills. Like, I always think of.
Yeah,
like,
because
Waimea
of
is
the
not
Waimea green.
That's definitely kind of the distinct. And right now, the hills are like, I was just looking at them this morning. So green. There's been a lot of rain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
I love the weather out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's like really cold, and you're like, oh, why did I drive out here to be freezing? But then at the same time, it's nice because Hilo is always so hot, even when it's raining.
Yep.
So.
Yep. No, I love that. I need that, like, that cold, like, I don't know, kind of like wakes you up, gets in your bones. Like, I love that, like, cold.
It makes you want to go for a jog.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
while you breathe out the air that looks like smoke because it's so freezing.
Yeah. Oh, and it's been like that a couple mornings lately. Yeah. So.
Is it snowing on the mountain?
No.
It hasn't yet. Huh?
No, there was one day over the Christmas break where
there was a little
snow up there. It was only like lasted for like a couple days, but there was one little dusting that.
Last year, around this time, it was really cold up there.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of snow.
There was some big time. Yeah.
So we're in warm weather all the way around.
Right.
The whole season.
Right.
So this time.
Yeah, I can't. You know, it's nice for what it is. Sweat it out, but like I gotta. After a little while, I'm like, okay, I gotta get back to Waimea.
Yeah.
I gotta recalibrate my body temperature.
Yeah, you're like, oh, okay, and it's hot in here too, so you're not used to it. Sorry.
I know. I had my jeans on. I'm like, I'm going to Hilo. Why am I wearing jeans? And I'm like, I don't know. It's like put on the jeans.
Okay, I'll try to get the AC.
No, it's all good. No, it's all good.
Okay, so I'm gonna go over to the next question, which is, and then we're gonna play one of your songs, which is All I Have to Do.
Okay.
And then so this question is, what instruments do you play?
Yeah, so I mentioned a little while playing the ukulele. Those are, guitar and ukulele are kind of my two main instruments. And on this song, I do a little ukulele solo action during the song, so I thought it was kind of a cool song to feature. I'm not the greatest ukulele player, but I love...
well, you started playing in the fourth grade, third,
yeah, I was like third grade. I started playing ukulele, and I always kept going with it. And for a little while, I was fully into the ukulele. There was a time when I was really passionate about playing it, but I couldn't quite I always felt that there was like a point I couldn't
get past,
turn the corner. Like I would see guys play, and I'd just be like, oh my god, they're so good. And I couldn't something wasn't. I just realized
That's
I'm
just
not
like me on the
a
guitar.
ripper.
I'm like, oh my gosh, when am I gonna get past these strums?
Right. So that's okay. It was like realizing, okay, I can do this. So I can do a little picking solo, but I'm not I think of Peter Moon, Eddie Kamai, all those guys that are so amazing on the ukulele that I wish I could.
You can't blink when you watch them play because you'll miss something.
Right. There's a guy, Duke Tatum, out on the west side who plays with Kahula Nui. That group, oh my god, he's so good. He's one of my favorite players on the island.
Nice.
He can play.
Yeah.
So, anyway, this song I do a little ukulele on here, and this is also from the same record I recorded the Cascade Love album on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, Okay, so you play the ukulele.
Ukulele.
You play the
Guitar.
You play...
That's really it.
Okay.
I mean, I have a few different styles on guitar. Like, I love playing slack key and open tuning, and a little slide and like lap slide guitar. I'm not really great at it, but I love playing
around with
different guitar styles, and ukulele. And I've messed around on like a banjo. I tried there was a second where I was like, I want to learn the mandolin.
Okay.
And it didn't quite do it for me. I couldn't quite wrap my head around it. But and then my voice, you know, I love singing is really like, I was talking about.
That's your instrument.
That's really, yeah, like the ukulele, once I kind of realized, it was good to realize actually I'm not a ripper on ukulele. And then same with guitar, like it was like, wait a second, like my voice is what I really love to express myself the most. Like I can't sit in with bands on guitar and like bust out the solo, like no way. I can just do the boom boom thing kind of thing.
But your voice is
my voice
your
is
best
really
instrument.
what I connect with the most. So
Me too.
yeah. And it is, it's its own instrument in itself.
It is.
So, and just, if you can just get enough guitar to kind of back it up, then you're all good.
Right.
See it, so.
Okay. So we're gonna listen to you play some ukulele and sing.
Yeah.
And this song is called All I Have to Do.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
Yeah. All I Have to Do by Dagan Bernstein. I'm gonna play it right now.
Okay. Let's do it. Coming live, 101.1 FM.
That's working out good. Oh, like sometimes I had a really hard time getting. Yeah, I'm so glad it's working. Okay, so it's already 5:30.
Okay.
So let's see. I'm gonna turn on the AC for you.
How's it?
So, did you want to go and get some water this time around?
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
Do you need to use the bathroom?
I'll be right back. No, I'm good.
So the next question is, what are your short-term goals as a musician, and how do you think that they will fulfill your long-term musician goals? Sometimes people don't like to answer that one, and that's totally fine.
Oh, I can answer that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. And then the next one's going to be, what excites you the most about sharing an original song? And then we're going to play a high and low.
Okay.
Lonesome.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. pretty well, I think.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna let this other one run through.
No worries.
And then, yeah, just because, you know what, too? I don't know how well this works. Oh, okay. That's working good today.
Hey, there you go. They're talking to each other again.
Do you feel the air?
Yeah, I can feel it coming in. Yeah,
okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fiji. Yeah, thank you so much for driving out here.
Oh, no worries.
And then, so yeah, I'd love to come and see you at play at the coffee house. But I would mention it on the radio, but I just can't. When was the next time that you're gonna be out there?
I will be out there next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
Right? Is that the 26th? Yeah.
Oh, what time?
From 9 to 11.
Oh, okay.
9 to 11.
And okay, this is the which coffee house?
It's the Waimea Coffee Company.
Waimea Coffee Company.
Yeah, they have live music there every weekend in the mornings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this is morning.
Yeah, this is morning time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, not 9 at night.
Oh,
That's like
okay.
Waimea shut down.
No.
Yeah. No, this is morning
Over
time.
here we close at 7 p.m.
Right.
So. Yeah. Last night it was funny because we were like, where did we go? Oh, I think we went to a restaurant. We were trying to check out a restaurant and it was closed already, and it was 8 o'clock.
Right.
So we were like, okay.
Yeah.
All right, and it was a Friday night.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, there you go. All right, that's surprising. I thought at least Hilo would have some.
Nope, and
No action. No.
No, we get our action pretty much on like first Fridays, I think.
Right.
Yeah, the downtown Hilo walk kind of thing.
Right.
And I actually noticed that like throughout the week, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, like downtown area is like off the chain. I don't know. It's like
right. But every weekend everyone goes beach.
Yeah. Family time. Yeah. So we got a minute and 39 seconds. So that's good. Okay. Well, this is morning. I'll have to get. How long did it take you to drive out here? About an hour?
Yeah, it's a little over an hour.
A little over,
on the cool way.
20 minutes.
Not even that. Maybe an hour. Why?
Well, you were speeding. That's why.
No. No, not me. I'm an old man driver. Yeah, it's about hour 10.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
That's fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not that bad. Not that bad.
And then, so are you out there every
No, I do 2 Saturdays a month there.
2 Saturdays a month.
Yeah. So usually the 2nd and 4th Saturday.
Okay.
Usually, but it depends.
Okay.
Yeah. But I have, my website, I have all my live shows
Okay.
up there. Because I also do
Okay,
on
and
another...
you're going to tell us where your website. Yeah. Okay.
Because on the other Saturdays I play at a farmer's market.
Oh, okay.
So.
Oh, nice.
And then one Saturday, like this morning I had Saturday off. But I usually do first Saturday at the farmer's market and 2nd and 4th at the coffee shop.
Okay.
So.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I know. I gotta check out the farmer's market down there too.
Yeah. No, there's like 3 farmer's markets in Waimea.
Right. There's a one when you first drive in on your right hand side.
Yep.
Then there's a one
and then
behind.
in town. Yeah. I play at the one behind.
Oh, okay. That's the bigger one too.
Yeah. It's a little bigger. I mean, they're all pretty big, decent size. So. Yeah.
Going back on in 10 seconds. Aloha Big Island, and thank you for tuning in. You are listening to The Dream on 101.1 FM. I have Dagan Bernstein in the studio with me today.
Aloha.
Aloha. We just listened to his song. It was
All I Have to Do.
All I Have to Do.
Yeah.
And that one was where he showed off a little bit of his ukulele skills.
Little ukulele picking, yeah.
So thank you so much.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. And then, so we're gonna go on with a little bit more questions and answers, and then we're gonna play a song called High and Lonesome.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And that one is by you again.
Yeah, another original one. Yeah.
And then so my next question is very long.
Okay.
Another long. This one sometimes it's hard to answer.
Right.
It's kind of like makes you think. But,
Okay.
what are your short-term goals as a musician, and how do you think that they will fulfill your long-term goals as a musician?
Well, like short-term right now is, you know, getting these new songs out, getting this new music out.
Right.
I did a recording early, last summer of 2018, and I started recording them then.
Okay.
And I'm now getting the mastering done, and kind of refining the mixing and the mastering of those. So for 2019, it's all about getting, those songs out and kind of packaging them all together. And I'll be releasing singles starting, hopefully I'm hoping next month, and then I got a couple singles lined up, and then dropping the whole album. And so yeah, short term is just kind of getting that whole project together.
So you started to record last year
in June of 2018, summertime, yeah. June, July, I think, yeah.
And you're gonna start releasing singles.
Yeah, hoping next month. I'm hoping, we'll see.
Okay.
I know that's kind of, that's always wishful thinking. It's always hard that things come up, but I'm hoping like sometime maybe
very soon.
By the 1st of March, I'm hoping to get the first one out.
If not March, then the next month
but
after.
Yeah, no, I think by March I'm feeling like things are moving along. So, but just kind of getting that all together. There with an album, there's, I got getting the pictures and the vibe, and like kind of I'm working with an artist in Waimea on getting the like artwork for the album, and kind of just in my head, like, what is this project, and what am I trying to say, and what am I trying to do with this album. And so that's short term, and and then keeping the momentum going once the songs are released.
I feel like it must be, I've never been in that position before, but I can imagine that it feels kind of like a little bit heavy, because you have like something in your mind, in your imagination, that you're trying to make come alive, and you want it to be fulfilling, and so it's like, okay, but I have a certain date that I want to do it by, and like it's like, okay, but is it ready, and then am I doing everything that I want to do, because it's so important to you. So definitely. That is a huge thing.
It is, and it, I definitely, with these songs, I definitely want to try and, it's a process. Like, this is my third solo album project, and I've learned something new on each one. And this one I kind of like upped the ante a little bit in terms of, the studio where I recorded, and some of the musicians I had involved working on the project, the level of engineering that went into it, and the mastering now, like, it definitely... that's why
you took it to the next level.
I'm trying to
good job.
Go to the next level with it, definitely. And listening to some
I'm excited to hear
cool
your new stuff.
Yeah. And hopefully I can play. I'll be busting out a new song if we have time.
Okay.
Before we depart.
Yes, we'll make more time.
Yeah.
We'll make time.
Okay.
We'll have time. Don't worry. Yeah,
okay.
if you want to play it, of course.
Right. So that's the short term.
Yeah, that's the short term, and then that's kind of gonna fulfill that long term goal.
Well, yeah. I mean, long term, it's all for me. I would just love to keep recording music and write. If I could keep getting inspired and write new stuff and make new album.
So your long-term goal is kind of just doing exactly what you're doing now.
Sustain it and keep getting better. I mean, even on this project, there's already, there's always stuff I'm thinking of the next time, doing better. So,
but actually, I totally can understand what you're saying, because it's kind of like, when you're in that position and you're writing music, it's kind of like, like I'm doing this, and like these songs are great, and then like I'm gonna complete this album, and it's almost like it's your work. That's what you do. So you don't want it to end. It's like I want to keep this going.
And it always, like, I feel newly inspired. Like, I'm already starting to work on some new songs.
Good.
And I feel like each album project kind of influences the next one.
Nice.
Like, you know, the first one I did was real traditional kind of country style. And then the last EP I did was like, okay, let's try and do a little more, it was probably a little more folky kind of stuff. And then I was kind of trying some different sounds, and I was actually kind of stuck, I would say, with a lot of where I was going with a lot of my songs. Like they weren't coming out right. I wasn't really feeling a lot of the stuff I was writing, and I actually had this moment where I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna just, all those songs I'm just gonna like kind of bury for a second. And I kind of dug, you know, when you move the grass, and I found I had all these songs I had written about like Hawaii that I had, and it was kind of like, oh, what about these songs? Like, these were like songs that I'd really come from a real personal place. They're about some places around the island that are special to me, and about some like kind of
some
moments and life experiences about, you know, being, you know, growing up in Hawaii. And I was like, oh, okay. And I kind of started pulling those together, and I was like, oh, I have like kind of a whole album here. I mean, some were like real bare bones, like literally just a line, but I kind of spent time building it out. And then that's when it came to last summer. I was like, okay, I think I'm ready. Like, let's go to the studio, let's do it. And because they were so like personal and kind of had this deeper level, like, I don't know, I had this moment where I'm like, I really want to do these songs like justice. I want to really like get them to sound good. I want to go into a good studio. And so that's the idea.
Good job. Right on. Congratulations. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, I'm excited to get them out there. I think, you know, hopefully people love them, and you know, whatever. It's all good. But I feel like, you know, that first record I did feels so long ago. Like I had, you know, that was, geez, I don't know how many years ago now. When did I put that out? It wasn't that long ago. It was like maybe 2015.
It's 2019, I think.
Right.
Now.
So that first album I did was like 4 years ago. But
okay.
You know, there's been a lot of growth since then.
Right.
And a lot of those songs were songs like from 10 years before. You know what I mean? That I had, where it was like, okay, boom.
Yeah.
The first album, where a lot of those, I listened back to those songs, and some of them I'm like, really, like, wow, that's kind
of different from where you're at
where I'm
right
at now. So, like I said, just kind of keep moving on, you know, keep moving to the next one.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's so exciting. I'm so excited for you.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear the music.
Yeah. They're coming soon. Like I said, this week I just got the first masters back and listened to them, and they're like they're like 99%. 99. There's just
this is what you call a musician,
right?
Okay, he is in the 99%
99.
satisfaction.
One little thing, I'm like,
so
can we fix that? Yeah,
he's gonna fix that little 1% to make it good for everyone to hear.
Because I made that mistake on past recordings where I was like, you know, it's 99%, and now I listen to it, I'm like, that one thing, why did I change that?
Yeah. Totally.
Now I know, like,
so
make sure you do that extra.
Make it that 100.
Make it that 100.
Yeah.
Keep it 100, as they say.
Yeah, 100. That's so 120.
Right. Right.
Now we change it to 21%. You gotta change that.
Right.
Just kidding. Okay, so let's see. What excites you the most about sharing an original song?
I think, you know, getting that reaction from people, like, you know, you just talking about, like, I can't wait to hear them. Like, for me, it's like sharing them with people and getting the feedback from them, and like, I write, you know, these songs, like, they're great. I love playing them at home or, you know, by myself, and they're these songs I created, but it's really about bringing it out from, I always say, like, bring it out of the bedroom, like, bring it out of the closet, kind of bringing these songs out into the world, and these creations, and putting them in front of people and hearing their reaction to them.
That is a really interesting way to put it, and like, because it's like really stuff that you have like hidden inside of you. So it's like it's in the closet or whatever, how you said it, until you share it with someone else.
Right.
And so,
Right.
yeah, and it is kind of like exciting to share it
Right.
with another person.
Yeah.
But
Right.
at the same time, it's nerve-wracking
It
because
is.
how are they going to react
Right.
to it? How are
Right.
they going to like it?
Right.
Are they going to hate it?
Right.
You know,
Right.
so.
Right. And I remember like one of these newer songs I'd written, I played it with my friend Jeff, who's a fiddle player, and we were done with the song. He's like, "Oh, that's a great song. Like, who wrote that song?" And I was like, "Oh, that's an original." He's like, "You wrote that?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "That's a good song." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay." And that like was just
Nice.
so, it just was a game changer because it was like, you know, in a vacuum, you don't know.
Yeah.
And I think music is meant to be shared. I think music and art is meant, you need the other person to kind of have the experience.
It's somehow a way that we connect, whether it's through like painting or music or movie, film kind of stuff. It's so weird, like, and so if you're an artist, it's something being put inside of you, I think, and I think it helps other people to understand themselves in a way, in a situation that they might be in, something that inspires them or helps them.
Right.
And so it is so important for musicians to share and other all types of artists because it connects with people in different ways. It can uplift someone from a sticky situation or you know, get them out of a bad mood or
and in unexpected ways sometimes. Like you might not anticipate the reaction someone had to a new song, and it kind of can change your perception of that piece you created. You know? Yeah, it's crazy. I know. But it took, you know, honestly, it took me, like I said, I was always very introverted, and like I was always so shy to like share what was inside me, but like music was the way I could do that. It was the way I felt comfortable doing that. And
it's so interesting that a person that is shy and introverted puts themselves out there, you know, just to get out of themselves. Like, I have to do this.
I always feel like musicians, that's why we chose music. Like it's so immediate and so in the moment. It's almost like it's so raw and real that like there's no, like once you hit the chord and you sing the note, it's like it's happening, and it's almost like it's a rush, you know. And like that's, music is just like that. It's not like making a film or a painting, like you spend hours making it like in isolation, and
it's so fast.
It's so like right there.
Sometimes it's a lot longer, like 6 minutes. 6 minutes. I love those 6 minute songs because you get a longer time to engage on all that emotion.
Right.
And then listen to the words again.
Right.
And like, oh, that's what they're saying. Oh, okay.
Well, good 6 minute song. Oh yeah, when you have that, like, it's kind of winding down, and there's the middle section, and you're like, oh, and then it goes into a whole different zone. You're just like, wow, that was so cool. But
that's actually, I think, sometimes either they do the whole song all over again, or they made 2 songs together, something, or you know, so many different things can happen there.
Well, there's different ways you can cut up time. You know, it's what music is. It's kind of breaking up time.
Yeah.
And, you know, different ways you can make that happen.
Yeah. So you have a song, and we're gonna play it.
Okay.
It's called High and Lonesome.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about the song before I go ahead and play it?
Yeah. High and Lonesome. It kind of, this song had an interesting, I guess, angle. There's a musician I really love. Her name's Lindy Ortega, and she's a artist from Canada, and kind of country-ish with a kind of, she's half Mexican, half Canadian. She has kind of this unique style, and I really love her music. And she kind of has this whole like look where she's a little like, not gothy, but she like has a veil, and she's kind of got this like real dark, kind of mysterious country
like
aura
like
about her.
Aura.
She's just got this like kind of crazy vibe, and her music's really cool. Anyway, I kind of like, the song started as just an exercise of like, imagine you were writing a song to her as a way to like, I don't know, like.
Are you singing to her?
Right. I don't know. It's hard to exactly put it into words because I'm kind of changing.
Her.
Yeah, I'm kind of putting. Here's what I did. I took.
Both.
Yeah, I kind of imagined her. Some of her songs are about not finding love and being lonely, and I kind of imagined someone who felt that same way who was in love with her.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And the person is kind of yearning for her. And that was just the inspiration.
I just got chicken skin.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the AC or
right. It could just be the
AC. But
the point I was trying to get with the song is whatever you feel, someone else feels the same way.
Yeah.
That was kind of the point. And I used the metaphor of like, high and lonesome, not like high as in like on drugs, but just kind of like, I don't know, maybe being like in a different state of mind and being lonesome and kind of, I don't know, I just had this vision of like someone drinking wine and playing guitar and like trying to connect with someone, and someone else in another room across the country playing guitar, and like these two people who are apart but singing the same song to each other.
Oh, okay.
So, and it was kind of...
I got chicken skin again.
So that's and it was funny you asked that question because this song, I thought it was like, I wrote this song, I'm like, this is kind of a weird song. Like, it was really out of my style.
Right.
But then I played it live, and like everyone really liked it, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
Right.
And it's kind of been one I play regularly. So it was kind of an unexpectedly cool song that people liked.
Okay.
So.
Okay, so here is High and Lonesome.
Another shout out, Colin John on guitar on this one, and Long Tall Deb doing some backup vocals on this one too. So shout out to them. High and Lonesome, check it out.
Awesome. I want to hear this song.
Oh.
Oh, did my phone die?
Oh.
Looks dead. Oh my god, this is nice. I like the titles of your songs too. It's just like very catchy and like...
Right. I kind of have this obsession with cool song titles. Writing the song is a big part, but I think about the song titles a lot. Because I always love like a song with a good title. I think it's
right. It is. It is actually really cool. Right? It's very, yeah. I have trouble with my song titles, so I kind of just do whatever.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, whatever.
Okay. Well,
like
maybe,
I have this one song, like it's a good song, and then but it's called Scars. And then I'm like, I don't really like the name of the song. And then too, when I introduce it, it's like, what the?
Right.
And then it's not really. I mean, it is kind of. It's about. But anyways.
Right. Yeah.
What is your?
I don't know. I try and find I think it's an opportunity to add another layer to the song. Okay. So I try and think of how to make the song, add something to the song by the title. The original song title on this, if you were to look at my notebook, it was "I Don't Want to Die Alone."
Oh. Okay.
But same thing with Scars, that's kind of dark, kind of weird sounding.
Yeah.
But then I was looking at it, and the first line of the song is "High and Lonesome." Kind of creates a whole vibe in your head, high and lonesome, kind of mysterious thing. So I'm always trying to find for that other layer to the song. So sometimes it'll be a lyric, or obviously the easiest is take the chorus and just grab the line from the chorus. you know, that's kind of the typical way of doing it, or I mean, or make a list of your favorite songs and kind of investigate like where did that song title come from, you know?
Right, I totally need to. That's something I have to work on.
Right.
Yeah.
Or it's
This
just
is
like,
going great though.
oh good, I'm enjoying it.
I'm glad you're
I love talking stories
It's a
about
lot better
music.
since it's cooler in here.
Yeah. No, it wasn't that bad. It was more outside.
Yeah.
It was like, it was feeling it, but
Yeah. Okay, so I'll turn this down so we don't have to yell. But I love your music. I love your vibe.
So much. Thank you.
You so much for coming in.
having fun. Thanks
I'm
for having
learning
me.
so much.
Well, good.
I love to listen and just take in. I mean, I've learned more about myself. Just like kind of how I was talking to you about the musical theater class that I'm taking.
Right.
I'm like learning about those people a long time ago that traveled from Ireland and you know wherever else. It's like how I relate to these people. It's like it's so strange, but this is something that I love doing. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to learn more about you and like what you do and listen to your music.
Yeah, that's how I learned, was just talking story with musicians. And I think it's great, pick their brains and get ideas, and that's how we're all trying to help each other.
I'm gonna let this next one play.
Okay.
Just because and I kind of do it for myself. I know what's coming up next.
Yeah.
But the next question is gonna be: would you like to expand your musical outlet outside of the Big Island, or have you already expanded music to other islands or maybe to the mainland?
Right.
Are you? Oh, we already talked about what your new music, but do you want to bring that up again?
Sure.
Okay, I can say we already talked a little bit about the new music that you've been working on.
Right.
And do you want to talk a little bit more about it?
Yeah.
And then you wanted to do a live song there.
Sure. Yeah.
And because you're gonna do a song from your.
Yeah.
So I'll say, can you play us one of your new upcoming songs?
Sure.
Okay. And I'll work on the other songs to get so that they can be in our system, because they play automatically.
All through the rotation.
Yeah. I'd say, but first, can you tell us what inspired you to write the song? Would that be a good question?
Yeah. Yep. I can answer that. Yeah.
Okay. Song and the title. Can you play one of your new and upcoming songs for us? But first, can you tell us what inspired you to write the song? And the title. We'll just throw that in. Tired. It's Saturday, but.
Right. Oh, whatever.
Did you sleep in?
I
this
did.
morning?
No, I mean, I guess sleeping in is like, I think I got out of bed at like 7.
Oh, that's early. That's how soon as
I usually 6 o'clock is usually my usual.
Oh, okay.
My usual wake up time.
Yeah.
Like Saturday morning, I got an extra hour in there.
That's nice.
I'm all good.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna sleep in, and then we got up around 8, and then I was like, I have so much to do.
Right?
And then
I know, that was my first thought. I was like, oh, I have the morning off. Like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
slow down.
That's your time to do what you want,
I know, right?
So. Getting a lot of comments on
I have few. Yeah, my wife said hi. That was a while ago. I don't know if she's still watching though.
Oh, okay.
But it's all good.
We're on in 3 seconds.
Okay.
Aloha, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in. You are listening to The Dream on 101.1 FM Hilo, and I have Dagan Bernstein. Am I pronouncing your last name correctly?
It's Bernstein.
Oh, Bernstein. Okay.
It's all good. Bernstein,
okay.
Bernstein.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Einstein.
Right, I know, yeah. Yeah.
So great, Dagan Bernstein, and
yeah.
we're just chilling, and we're getting to a close of our interview, and it's been going really nice.
Wonderful.
And I want to thank Dagan again for coming in and spending time with me and chit-chatting, and I told him, it helps me a lot to learn a lot about myself, and it really just gives me the opportunity, I feel like, to learn more about me, and so I enjoy and honor and respect every musician that comes into the studio to chat with me. Thank you so much.
Mahalo for having me. I love being able to share, and we were talking about that's how we all learn from each other, and share our ideas and what we do, so it's all good. Yeah, love coming in and talking story.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna go to our next question.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, so the next question is, would you like to expand your musical outlet outside of the Big Islands, or have you already extended your music to other islands and maybe to the mainland?
Yeah, no, I would love to, definitely. I haven't really yet. I would love to go to other islands and play wherever and connect with other musicians doing original, music, and I think, when those opportunities come, I'd be...
The Paniolo thing is really big in Maui too.
Right, yeah.
So you got like a lot of, I'm sure it's really big in Waimea too, but I just don't know that much about it because I'm not familiar.
Yeah. Every island.
I feel like I'm still new here.
Right.
I've been here for about 7 years, but I feel like I have so much to learn.
Yeah. No, Paniolo, the thing I was just thinking, like, there's, and I wrote a song about this, there's Paniolos on everywhere. Like, I'm just so used to, like, seeing that, like, that style of truck, and, like, I don't know, like, there's the Panaeva Rodeo. I just saw a flyer when I was out today for that, and, there's cowboys, obviously Maui at Makawao, and, Hawaii has cowboys, and Oahu there's cowboys. I mean, there's a long history of
so you could make that connection anywhere in Hawaii.
Right, and even, in the mainland, I think, anywhere there's people love country music or
Texas.
Yeah, I mean, I think my music would, hopefully fit in with those types of...
The Nashville thing.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, when I go to the mainland, I'll always try and find an open mic. Like, I'll always go on the internet and try and dig up the open mics. But in terms of, like, that's a whole other... Like,
a tour is, like, a whole
Right. I mean,
thing.
We were talking about all the things you need to be able to do as a musician, and, like, that's a whole other, like, booking on the mainland. Yeah, because, they don't really know... you're from Hawaii, they're maybe envisioning one thing, and like I think it's what I do is maybe a little unique, so
yes, it is.
I would love to bring it, wherever the music takes me, wherever my path I need to go on, I'm down.
The interesting thing is that, like, if you're recording music and if you're sharing it, like, even on the internet somehow, then people outside of where you are listening to it.
Right.
So they're buying it and viewing it wherever, and so that's a really cool thing. That,
definitely.
Like a small little place in this big huge world.
Yeah, exactly.
You're still reaching out to people that you don't even know.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I'm always finding, with Instagram, Facebook, you can always find musicians, and even small time. I consider myself a small time musician, but there's so much good music out there for if you search your little niches, like those unique styles that you're into, like there's people doing that somewhere out there. So, down the road we'll see where it takes me, but
be a big star.
don't know about that.
Playing with like.
I don't know about that. If I can just
see on TV one day.
Well, if I can just make music and share my music, I'll be happy.
Yeah,
I don't know about being a big star. We're in such a weird culture with like all that kind of stuff. I just want to like share beautiful music and play it and then in nice. There's sometimes I'll go
because you're a country boy, so all that stuff is a lot for you too.
Right. I don't think I would be. No, I'm just happy like playing music in some. I don't know, some barn somewhere in Texas or something. I don't know.
That's hilarious. Yeah, but I feel you on that. I feel you on that because your environment is important. So,
right. But definitely, I mean, I think
place, you got a different vibe from other.
Right, and for Hawaii, you mentioned Hawaii. Like, I think like there's a whole untapped like thing in Hawaii. Like,
I feel like it's expanding.
It's expanding, and like I would love for more musicians to like have more opportunities to share good original art. Like on, I'm sure there's little scenes on Kauai and Maui and Oahu, and like down the road, I think we can connect and share each other, or share our resources and like share our music with each other on different islands. I think it would be a really cool thing and make a network of people. So I think that's something that.
Yeah, like, come stay at my house and then we go play over here.
Right.
So you just gotta pay for your plane ticket.
Right.
And then you cook one night, I'll cook one
night. Yeah, that would be cool.
I'm sure that like we could start doing something like that. We just gotta reach out to outer islands. I mean, like actually, I have a friend from Maui, and so he's like, I want to come play over in the Big Island. He said he loves playing out over here. So I'm like, he's like, oh, where's the hotels near you? So I told him, like Hilo Hawaiian and Hilo and everything, and I'm like. But you can just crash my house.
Yeah.
Just come stay here.
Right.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah. Just cook rice.
Save money.
Yeah, save money. And go jam somewhere.
Yeah. So, we're already starting it, see?
I think so. Yeah, I think things like this are very good. Yeah. Radio, interviews and connecting with other musicians and I think so.
So you're gonna play a live song for us.
Okay.
And but we already talked a little bit about your music that you started to work on in the studio as far as recording.
Right.
In June of 2018.
Right.
And you were saying that it's you're gonna start releasing some of the music next month.
I'm hoping, maybe end of February, like maybe beginning of March. I'm shooting for that right now. Yeah.
Which is very, very soon. So I'm super excited for you. I'm super ready. I'm ready to start hearing that because you're So and can you tell us a little bit more about that new music?
Right.
And then play a song.
Sure. Yeah. So the songs are all about, influenced by, and focused around Hawaii and life in Hawaii. There's some songs about some special places that are important to me. Some songs about just kind of life in Hawaii. I kind of found all these songs and pieces of these songs I had written over the years that I always kind of had in the back. I never considered myself really a Hawaii songwriter per se, but I kind of just had this spark of inspiration and finding myself and finding what really has influenced me as a musician, and also listening to a lot of I think of a song like Ku'uhome o Kahalu'u by Jerry Santos and Olomana. Like, what an amazing song. Like, I think one of the most amazing songs ever written. And, all the lyrics in English, but distinctly Hawaiian in feel and message and story. But also universal in the song is really about leaving home and being drawn back home and reconnecting with home. And songs like that really inspired me to just share my truth and my experience, and kind of just my experience growing up in Hawaii and what I've seen. So that's where all these songs came from.
That is really touching.
Yeah. It was pretty awesome to journey down the path of getting these recorded and trying to get the sound right, and also get the feel of the songs how I wanted them to be. There's a lot of different styles on the songs. There's one that's definitely like kind of more old, kind of hapahauli jazz kind of progressions. There's one that's a little more like kind of a 70s folk kalapana kind of groove. Another one that's like a cowboy waltz kind of thing. One that's like a hula tempo. So I tried to kind of
have like a variation.
Yeah, variation, because Hawaiian music, people say like, oh, Hawaiian music is this. When if you listen to a lot of the recordings from Hawaii, I mean, what is Hawaiian music anyway? Like, it's recordings really from Hawaii, there's so many different styles. There's so many influences that have come here.
Reggae, rock.
All those.
But and too, like, I so understand what you're saying, and sometimes it's just the way the land is speaking to you, the rain's talking to you, the wind, everything. So it's like, it's like you can't really put anything in a box, really. I mean, and I respect the culture, totally. At the same time, when you're inspired and you feel something in your soul and your piko, then it's like, I feel that too, and I want to share it in this way. And I also, I definitely wanted the songs to have kind of that backyard kind of sound. Like, I wanted them to be songs that I could like sit down at a jam session and play. I wanted songs that you could like just jam out to and bust out at the house party, at the late night jams. Like, they're really they're kind of rooted in that style. Nice.
So I wanted them to be also like songs that you could just play and jam out and not be too like weird and out there. I just wanted them to be like just kind of solid, that kind of I don't know, I had this sound in my head that I wanted, and that vibe I wanted each song to have. So that was kind of the guidepost. I kept asking myself, is this a song that you could like jam out, like if you're just at the beach or at the backyard and just jam out on this song? And I wanted it to have that feel. So that was a big part of it as well.
It sounds very grounded.
Yeah, that's a good word. Grounded. I think so.
Big Island does that to you. It gets you grounded.
It does.
It's very healthy.
So. Very healthy. I think when people get too they start getting too out there. You gotta be careful. You gotta bring them. And the Big Island will do that. It'll humble you, right?
Yes,
bring
it
you
does.
Back, humble you real quick. Humble you real quick. So.
Okay, so thank you so much for sharing. And so, well, can you tell us? You're gonna sing and play guitar for us. Tell us about, and this is the one that's gonna. It's gonna be on your. This is one of your newer songs.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be the first single. So it's like world premiere action live in studio. Yeah, I think this is gonna be the first single. The song is, it's funny, we were just talking about song titles during the break. The original name of the song was Nava'a Holohonua, and this image, which is the canoe sliding along the earth, actually Honua. And this image I actually got from some people from Laupoehoi who put on this event every year, and that was the theme for one of their events one year, was the image of the horse actually riding across the earth like a canoe sliding across the ocean.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, wow. Like, I was talking to someone about this theme, and I was like blown away. It was just such a crazy idea. So I literally just wrote that down, Nava'a Holohonua, and it just sat for years. for years I just had that image, and I was like, hey, one day I need to write a song about this kind of image. So it's about, because I look at the Paniolo are like these kind of, the original Hawaiians sailed their canoes across the ocean, right? They're all the way across the sea and landed on the Big Island, or landed in Hawaii. And then now we have like the Paniolo are like the new school version, like on their horses, like now gliding across the land.
Okay.
And there's image of like using the stars to navigate, and the wind and the land. Like they're still
using those methods.
Those elements.
Right.
There's a lot of, I wanted the imagery of the elements to connect with like the original voyagers, and now the Paniolo as the kind of voyager of today. Because it's one of those, like when you talk to some of the old cowboys, like they know stuff about certain hills, certain plants, like certain time of year, like what happens, like they know some stuff. Like if you sit and talk with some of these old cowboys, like they'll start telling you like, oh, okay, this plant only over here, and you use that for this medicine. And it's interesting how much knowledge was kept through the Paniolo lifestyle. So the hook of the song is Ha'aheo na Kanaka Paniolo, which is like giving praise to the Paniolo. So I'm thinking that might be the new title of it now, is Ha'aheo na Kanaka Paniolo.
That's beautiful.
Because it's really like a praise song for the Paniolo, and I wanted to honor the Paniolo, and maybe twist the story a little bit. I think we have the image of like the cowboy just roping the bull kind of thing, but my experience has been that there's so much more depth to the understanding of the cowboy and the connection to the land.
Yes.
And I wanted to capture that in the song. And I hope I executed what I set out to do, but
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
It sounds so amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And yes, okay, so it's called, it's hard for me to pronounce, but
Ha'aheo na Kanaka Paniolo.
by Diggin Bernstein.
Thank you. Riding along the ancient pathways, he makes his way to wherever he needs. The horse is the Paniolo Va'a, the ground is the Paniolo Sea. He climbs through the forests of Mana, guided by the hills and the wind, like navigators that came before him, going places they have never been. Ha'aheo na Kanaka Paniolo, ina wa'a holo nua. Ha'aheo na Kanaka Paniolo, ina wa'a holo nua. Sailing on the pastures as an ocean, the moon lights his way so he can see. Travels from the mountain to the shoreline, living life so open and free. At the beach he rests for the evening, catches fish and sleeps under the stars, with some drink and plenty of eating, and the strumming of slaki guitar. Ha'aheo na Kanaka Paniolo, ina wa'a holo nua. Ha'aheo na Kanaka Paniolo, ina wa'a holo nua. With the sunrise he must be leaving, he grabs his kaulahili and his ring, lifts his paddle one at a time, and rides his vessel home so carefully. The Paniolo lives in a balance with what the kai and the aina will provide. Contained within the ahu pua'a is everything that's needed to survive. vai. Haina mai ka puana, ha'aheo na kanaka paniolo. Haina mai ka puana, ina wa'aholo honua. Haina mai ka puana, ha'aheo na kanaka paniolo. Haina mai ka puana, ina wa'aholo honua. Ina wa'aholo honua. Ina wa'aholo honua.
Thank you so much.
All right, mahalo, thank
That
you.
was so beautiful.
Thank
So
you.
we're coming to an end.
Yeah, we went overtime.
Yeah,
Overtime
no
action.
worries.
Extra period 8.
Yeah.
That was good talking story.
Yeah, it was good talking stories
Right?
with you. I really enjoyed that song.
Yeah, thank you.
It was very inspiring.
Oh,
I
good.
love how you kind of created something ancient, but yet it's
Right.
like modern.
Yeah, well, that was that key
Mixed
change I
together.
kind of threw in there. Yeah, that was. Yeah, there's an old song called Moku Kiakahi that kind of does that little action. I was kind of, oh, that's cool. I want to try and I kind of did my own version of that. But yeah,
Nice.
thank you.
Okay, so thanks again for coming
Right.
in. And then we're gonna, I wanted to ask you, how can our listeners connect with you? You said you have a website.
Yeah, you can always go to the website, Dagan Music, Dagan, Dagan Music.
Okay.
Or, you know,
Is that
Facebook.
like daganmusic.com?
Yeah, daganmusic.com.
nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
daganmusic.com. Or Instagram, Facebook, it's all Dagan Music, Dagan.
Okay, and you're on Facebook.
Facebook, yeah, I got my music page at Dagan Music, Instagram, Dagan Music.
Oh, Instagram.
Right.
Dagan
And if you
Music.
go to my website, you can, I'm trying to build up the newsletter because
Okay.
I've been sending out some like little clips and little teasers and even some
Nice.
live stuff to people who want to sign up and give their email. Trying to
Okay.
like give away
Yeah,
some
yeah.
free music, you know,
Oh,
do all of
cute.
that. So you can jump on the website and
Yeah.
all the information's on there and whatnot. I keep that up to date. So that's
Nice.
good to
Good
go.
job.
Yeah, I know. It's a lot of work. But
Yes, you're a teacher and a musician.
Right,
You do
but-
everything.
You know, it's like it's like it becomes an obsession. It really does.
Yes.
It's like sometimes I gotta go to sleep and put the computer down and be like, no, if I just
Yeah,
change the color to the background of the font, and it's like, oh my god, it just becomes.
It's obsessive.
It is,
yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
But that's all
Just
good.
go to bed.
I
Force
know.
yourself.
I know. I just keep thinking about it though.
Well, it's great. It was great to have you in the studio.
Thank you so
I'm excited to hear your new music, and
Yeah.
that was awesome what we
Yeah,
just heard.
totally.
So thank you for sharing that with us.
Awesome, yeah.
Another teaser.
Right, I know.
And yeah, so single coming out.
Single, I think I'm
next-
anticipating, yeah.
in March,
I would say
or
I'm
in the
shooting,
end of February.
I'm shooting for, end of February, beginning of March, new single, and pushing it
then-
out to all the
and then
stuff.
a
And then,
whole album.
yeah, I'll probably do like, I want to kind of keep some singles going to get
Yeah.
people a feel for,
Yeah.
it's so hard now, you just like a whole
Yeah,
album.
boom, and
so
it's-
like, I
yeah.
want people to kind of get,
Yeah.
I have some different songs lined
Yeah.
up that have some different vibes, like I was telling
Yeah,
you
yeah,
about.
yeah.
And then summertime, I think I'll have the whole album out if
Okay.
people are ready to just
Yeah.
take a whole bite
yeah,
of that, the whole
yeah.
record. So
Uh-huh.
but I'm hoping to have 2019 be a good year to get some of these songs finally out to the world.
It
so.
is a great year. Music is just like blasting off this year.
Good.
So,
Yeah, I always
it's
think
a good
2018
time.
was the like recollect
Mhm.
your chess. You know, when you finish a game of chess and like
Right.
they're all over, you gotta like reset your chessboard.
Yes, yes.
And then now 2019 is about
It's-
like getting the pieces,
Uh-huh.
start
You're
moving.
winning now.
I hope so. Yeah. Hope so. Because yeah, I've lost a few games. Nah. Well, thank you for having me, and thanks for doing this show. I think it's great. I hope more people can get hip to it and keep doing the Facebook live stream so we can check it out over in Waimea.
Yes,
And,
thank you. Thank you for
thing.
supporting.
Yeah, totally.
I'm so I appreciate that people like dig it. So it means a lot to me.
Well, good. Yeah.
So that's it for our show
Awesome.
today. And I hope everybody had a beautiful Saturday.
Yeah.
It was super sunny out on the east side of Hilo.
Right.
Blazing
It was
sun.
blazing hot.
And I hope the families that got to go to the beach enjoyed themselves. And just tomorrow's Sunday. So enjoy your weekend, everyone.
Definitely. Have a good weekend.
Love and aloha and one love.
All right, one love. Aloha.
Yeah.